morning, everyone. It's Thursday morning, July the 17th. How do we cope with trials and adversities in our life? We all have them, don't we? It seems like I've been going through a little bit more than usual. Put it that way. I'm not going to go into details. You don't need to hear about all my problems, but I've had my share of trials lately, and it seemed like they came in. It wasn't singular, it was multiple. Well, 1 Peter 1:7 says that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. The trial of your faith being much more precious than of gold. He says our trials are precious. Now, I don't think they seem so precious when they're going on with us, And I'm kind of a negative person, and so because of that reason, I tend to look at the worst possible scenario rather than the best possible scenario. People talk about Murphy's Law and everything else. But if we believe that God is sovereign, He's in control of all things, then is He not the one that is bringing these trials into our lives? You might say, well, you just want to blame God on everything, don't you? I don't blame God. I don't blame Him. But it does say in Ephesians 1 that He works all things after the counsel of His own will, and that includes everything we're going through. And like I've often said, we may not like what we're going through. Who enjoys adversity? Who enjoys suffering? Who enjoys pain? Who enjoys financial hardships? Who enjoys whatever the problem is? Vehicle problems, family problems, financial problems, health problems, relative problems, friend problems, whatever it might be. We don't enjoy it. But if we believe the Bible, and if we believe we're elect children of God, the Bible says that all things work together for good to them that love the Lord and them that are called according to His purpose. I have to remind myself of that. I may not like it, okay? I've often quoted 1 Peter 4:12, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. Sometimes that's the way I feel. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure that's the way Job must have felt. I mean, he had the world come crashing down on his head. Lost his family, lost everything. 2 Corinthians 8:2, how that in a great trial of affliction, the abundance of their joy and their deep poverty abounded unto the riches of their liberality. Wow. Apostle Paul is saying here, a trial and affliction abounds to the riches of our liberality. Sometimes we're facing a trial, we want to just close down. We want to close up shop. I know I do sometimes. Hey, I'm taking a break. I can't deal with any more of this stuff. Okay? Hebrews 11:36, others had trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, moreover bonds and imprisonments. Have you Have you been scourged lately? Have you been put in prison lately? Have you been in bonds lately? Well, sometimes we say, I don't want to go on. I don't want to have to deal with any more of these tests. You know, I don't want to have to deal with it. Who wants to deal with adversity? You know, it's like the song says that the God on the mountain is the same God that's in the valley. You know, he's still there. He's there all the time. Whatever we're going through, he's there. And he, I'm sure that he suffered more than we would ever suffer on the cruel and rugged cross of Calvary. It says when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he sweat, as it were, great drops of blood. He said, Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. We all want this cup to pass from us, don't we? The cup of suffering, the cup of trials, the cup of adversity. 2 Corinthians 1:5, for as the sufferings of Christ abound in us, so our consolation also aboundeth by Christ. So he says that we're suffering. If we're one of his, we should gain consolation. Christ is going to console us during these times of suffering. 2 Corinthians 1:7, and our hope of you is steadfast, knowing that as ye are partakers of the suffering, so shall ye also be of the consolation. You might say, well, I'm looking for a little consolation. Well, I am too. I am too. 1 Peter 4:13, but rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. Romans 8:18, I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Do you believe that? Do you believe that the sufferings you're going through, you can't even compare them with on the other side with the glory that's going to be revealed in us? Colossians 1:24, who now rejoice in my sufferings for you, and fill up that which is behind of the afflictions of Christ in my place for his body's sake, which is the church. I mean, Paul even stated that he would, well, I'll just read it, Philippians 3:10, that I may know him and the power of his resurrection, and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death. Paul stated that he might know the fellowship of his sufferings. I don't think I've ever prayed that. Lord, let me have fellowship with your sufferings. Well, Hebrews 2:10, for it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. To make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. Second Corinthians 1:6, it is for your consolation and salvation, which is effectual in the enduring of the same sufferings which we also suffer, or whether we be comforted, it is for consolation and salvation. He says that's the reason we're going through these things. Now, when we're going through these things, we may not want to hear what I'm talking about this morning. We may want to hear it at all. We might want to just go hide in the corner somewhere, right? Well, I hope this is an encouragement to you this morning if you're going through adversity, hardships, financial hardships, pain, physical pain, suffering, whatever it might be, realize that if you're one of Christ, it's working for the good. And we sometimes think, well, I can't go on, I can't cope anymore. No, you can't, not of yourself. We can't cope by ourselves. But underneath us are the everlasting arms of God. May the good Lord be with you today in a special way, and may He grant unto you the joy of His salvation this morning. God bless.